Hey guys, we are going to finish up with writing inequalities. So we've already done writing equations, so now we are going to do writing inequalities. Okay? And so remember, inequalities might mean like greater than or equal to. Okay? So we're going to definitely have to talk about some of our word meanings here. Okay? So number one, it says, the spring musical at Houston High School costs $1,845 to produce. Okay? They have made $1,550 from ticket sales and plan to sell concessions for $1.50 each to make up the difference. So if you remember our words per, each, every. Okay, so those are going to apply here. Which of the following inequalities could be used to determine the number of concessions they will need to sell in order to make a profit where the earnings are greater than or equal to the cost? So greater than or equal to. So one thing that I want to make sure that we understand, normally profit would mean it needs to be greater than the cost, okay, not equal to. It's kind of like if I buy a shirt for $5 and I sell it for $5, I did not make any profit, okay? So normally if I buy it for $5, maybe I sell it for $6, so then I make $1 profit. So, but in this case, they're saying greater than or equal to, okay? So, first of all, let's look back at some important stuff. The spring musical at Houston High School cost $1,845 to produce. So to me, that's the end point. That's how much it costs altogether. Okay? They have made $1,550 from ticket sales, and they plan to sell concessions for $1.50 each, and it's not saying each what, it just says they are planning on selling concessions. So normally they're going to tell you for each item or whatever, but they're just saying $1.50 each. So remember that per or each, that means it's $1.50 times whatever the variable is. Okay, and I'm looking here and it looks like that variable is C. Okay? So if you think about it, this is how much it's going to cost to make it. I'm going to get $1.50 for every item that I sell. And we're calling those items concessions, right? So when I look at this, I'm still not anywhere closer to my answer because I don't see a C here. I see a C next to $1.50. But I would say this one is not going to be right. And this one is not going to be right because this should be my end point, okay? That should be my end point. So I should have my sign somewhere here, the equal to sign or the greater than or less than. So based on that, my end point should be alone. It should be 1845, okay? So that's one thing I'm pretty sure about, okay? So it says they already made $1,550, okay? So basically they already have made this much money, then they are going to make $1.50 more per concession, okay? So right here we have to figure out if it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. So it says, which of the following inequalities could be used to determine the number of concessions they will need in order to sell to make a profit? Okay, so remember it says the profit means it has to be greater than or equal to the cost. Well, here's my cost. Okay, so, and this can be confusing. This one is the wrong one because that's saying this side will be less than or equal to 1845. I need this side to be greater than or equal to the 1845. So that is going to be this one. So that's going to be C. this $1,550 plus $1.50 per concession, I need to make sure that I have a value for C here that's going to make this greater than 1845. That's how I make my profit. Okay? So that one's a little bit tougher because those little kind of, I hate to say tricks because it's true how it works. Only like one of them helped a little bit as far as that end point, but again, this is just one of those things that this is definitely reading. You got to make sure you're focused on exactly what those words are saying. Okay? So this says, Nutrimart is having a special on vitamins. They are regularly $25.99, but they will take 50 cents off the price for each push-up, okay, you do in the store. The same vitamins are available online for $19.99. Which of the following inequalities could be used to determine the number of push-ups you would need to have to do for the Nutrimart special to be a better deal? So, first of all, you have to understand what a better deal is, okay? So I'm going to put Nutrimart over here. So a better deal means that it's going to cost less, okay? I need Nutrimart to be less than what it is for online, okay? So online, it is $19.99. Now if you look here, that's the end point of this equation, okay? So my goal here is which of the following inequalities could be used to determine the number of push-ups you would need to have Nutrimart's special rate be better. So I need this one to be less than this one. Okay, I want this one to be less than this one. So that means I'm going to face it this way. This one has to be less than this one, okay? So based on that alone, I can say this one's wrong and this one's wrong. Now hopefully you can figure out this part. Hopefully we can make sense of it. So at Nutrimart it was $25.99, and they take off how much? 50 cents per push-up. So remember, 50 cents P. Remember that that means a number next to a letter. So 50 cents each push-up. 50 cents each push-up. So, and that's coming off of the price. I want you to look here. Which one shows it coming off of the price? Hopefully you know that's D. That one's going to be wrong, right? Because that means I'm adding it onto the price. Remember, this is, I'm taking it off of the price, okay? So that is going to be C. I need Nutrimart to be less than what it is online. Right now it's not, if I just do $25.99. But I get to take off 50 cents per push-up. And I guess, hopefully you can tell, these are the same. 0.5, 0.50, those are the same, okay? Okay, so I'm going to read this, and I'm going to just pause, and I want to see if you can get rid of anything here, okay? Dave has 40 feet of fencing material to make a rectangular yard. If he wants the length of the fence to be 12 feet, which inequality below could be used to determine the possible width? Okay, so this one actually I probably are going to need a little more help on, okay? So we have fencing, right? And what we think, fencing goes where? Well, it goes around a yard, okay? So fencing is like the perimeter of something, okay? He wants the length of the fence to be 12 feet, which inequality below could be used to determine the possible width. So here's my end point. 40 is the end point. That's how many feet of fencing he has. He cannot use more than 40. He has to use 40 or less. Okay? So based on that, he has 40 total. He cannot use more than that. He can use 40 or he can use less than 40. This over here has to be 40 or less than 40. Okay? So based on that, we're going to cross off C and we're going to cross off D. Now the one thing that I'm going to draw a little picture here. I have my rectangle, and what I know is that the width is 12, right? And I don't know the width, right? So I put W. Okay? So I want you to think about this a second. Because we're doing the perimeter, that means I have to add all the sides, okay? Which one of these two shows adding all the sides for perimeter? Hopefully you can tell that's going to be A. 12 plus 12, 24, plus the other two sides, W plus W, which is 2W. So this one, guys, this is a tricky one, okay? B, I know a lot of people are going to put that one, but I don't want you to put that one because this is why we draw a picture. Please try to draw a model. It will help you. Okay, guys, last one. Let's see if we're improving at all. Okay? Tickets to the state fair are $10 plus $1.50 per ride. Ooh, that helps me. $10 plus $1.50 per ride. Okay? So hopefully you remember, what does that mean right there? What do we think it means? Hopefully you know we think it means a number next to a letter. So without reading this, and I have not read this all yet, I'm almost positive it's going to be $1.50R. Okay? So when I look over here, that's going to tell me B is wrong. Okay? Because the R has to be next to $1.50. So the state fair tickets are $10 plus $1.50R. So I'm saying $10 plus $1.50R. So that doesn't help right there. Okay? And I'm almost positive this C is wrong, but I'm going to keep reading to make sure. The state fair also sells unlimited ride wristbands for $25 that include the entry fee. Okay? Which inequality below could be used to determine the number of rides you would need to ride to make the wristband a better deal. Okay? So this one is definitely not correct. What they're saying is, over here we have $25. I can buy the wristband and ride as many rides as I want, right? But I want to make sure that I'm doing the best thing as opposed to paying $1.50 per ride. Okay? So I hope I'm making sense to you. Is it going to be better for me just to pay $25? Or is it better to pay $10 plus $1.50 per ride? We're trying to make it better. It says, which inequality below could be used to determine the number of rides you would need to ride to make the wristband a better deal. Okay? So a better deal means this one is going to be less. This one is going to be less. Okay? So that would mean $10 plus $1.50 per ride. Okay? So this would be having to figure out how many rides there are. Okay? So I want this number to be less. So meaning like lots of rides over here. If I go on a lot of rides, that would make this more expensive than this $25 was the better buy. So that's going to end up being A. Okay? So I want you to think about that a little bit. Go back and kind of rethink what we're talking about.